This is Transformers 96 here with another review where I'm going to be reviewing from Funko Pop from AntMan as well as Ant-Man and the Wasp. We have AntMan, the Ghost, and Yellowjacket. So yeah, just got these two new Ant-Man figures, being Ant-Man and Ghost, and with the movie's release I figured it would be a good time to do a review. And I have Yellowjacket from the first movie, which I've never reviewed, so I thought, hey, why not just do a big old group review of Ant-Man Funko Pops. So yeah, so quite excited to get these. I'm a big Villains fan. Even before I was like really collecting Funko Pops, I still bought the Marvel villains from them. That's like the one thing that I collected from them before I started collecting Pops in general. Now I do collect Pops pretty heavily, but villains were always something I collected. So of course I purchased the first Yellowjacket when that came out, and then with this new movie I absolutely wanted Ghost, and Ant-Man was kind of bought in like a set because you needed to buy a few to get it at a decent price for Hot Topic. So that's basically why I have Ant-Man, but Ant-Man looks quite nice. But yeah, so going over the actual Pops here. It's just going to be, a small review of each of them. Going over, starting off with the hero himself, Ant-Man. Overall, I think this is a fun Pop. This is my first Ant-Man Pop. I don't have the Pop from the first Ant-Man movie or Civil War, so I can't compare it to them. But I do really like this one. I like the helmet design. I'm a big fan of this helmet, especially from Civil War. And he's basically got the same designed helmet for Ant-Man and the Wasp. I mean, it is slightly different, but just ever so slightly. I really like the translucence around the eyes though, so you can really see the eyes underneath, and it is actually underneath the translucent piece, so you actually have some depth there, some real depth, and not just manufactured, so that is quite nice. The body itself does look quite good, good sculpting, and the paint in general is pretty nice. I mean, you overall have a couple little silver marks on the chest and like a red mark on the bicep there, but for the most part, considering these are very starkly different colors, it's painted pretty well. Yeah, and I do like the movement. He's got, he's not in much of a pose, but he's in a bit of a stance, just kind of like walking forward, like the open hand, and then this hand about to press the button to shrink. So I do like that quite a bit. So overall, it's a nice Pop. It's not a particularly heavy one. It does feel kind of light, but it is a nice Pop, and the bobble function works really nice on it, of course. Then going over Yellowjacket from the original movie. This is one of my favorite Pops, I have to say. I really like it. I've always liked the design of Yellowjacket from the movie, and this Pop really represents it quite nicely. He's got quite a nice bulk to him. On the back, as you can see, you do have the two little wing sections as well as the two arms, which I think look very cool. And just the colors are nice. The black and yellow look really good together. And it's painted pretty nicely, especially since, black and yellow are very different colors, and yet this one doesn't really have many issues at all, but this Pop is 3 years old at this point, so I feel like they had less issues back then when it comes to paint. And then, like I was saying with this, where you get the clear plastic piece in front of the eyes, it's really quite nice. But with this one, you get a full thing. This plastic piece is in front of the eyes as well, and it's in front of all this honeycomb effect too. So you've got some tremendous depth there. It looks like there's a lot going on in the head sculpt, which I really like. So this is just a really unique Pop because the head sculpt is so dynamic, and then you also have the legs and wings and stuff in the back too, which adds a lot to it. I only wish that it was released, sometime close to now, because nowadays they kind of put their figures in stances, and I'm not a big fan of just the regular Pop stance of the olden days where they're just kind of standing bent knees and bent elbows. I'm not a big fan of that stance. So stance is the only thing I would change about this, because the rest of it is really quite nice. One of my favorite Pops, I'd have to say. And then we have Ghost. Ghost looks quite nice. I love the detailing in her costume and the colors. She uses a lot of different colors that range from creams to creamy blues and to cream grays. It's a really nice mixture. There's a lot of unique colors in there because, there's a lot of colors, and these are colors that you don't see on figures very much, so I do very much like that. And then the design in the head is excellent. All of that is actually sculpted, and there's just an absolute ton of it, so I do love that. And then the helmet, the face there does look quite nice, and I do like her stance a lot. She's got the her hands out, and then just kind of taking a step forward. My only issue is that she very much leans forward. She definitely needs a base, and even with the base, I feel like she's going to slowly keep going forward until she ends up just falling off and the base won't matter anymore. I really wish that her back was arched, which would bring her head up higher and would angle her back more, which I think would be quite nice. There is a Walmart exclusive Funko Pop for for Ghost here, which I would absolutely love to get. I am trying to get it for a decent price, and that's just her like invisible, because like she's phasing, which I do think is quite neat. Personally, I would like to see a Ghost figure that like has extra limbs sculpted on her in a clear form to make it look like in the movie when she's walking and she, you know, she like, kind of like leaves a trace of herself, and then there's a trace of herself that's yet to come in front of her. You know, I would like to see that just a little bit represented because I think it's very cool. There can also be a Ghost figure without her helmet. I think that's something that would be necessary. The Ant-Man Chase is one without his helmet, so I would definitely like Ghost one for that too. But yeah, these 3 pops are really enjoyable. I do like them as a set. It's nice to have the main character along with their 2 villains from their 2 films. And yeah, these are all quite nice. If I were to rank them, Yellowjacket would definitely be my favorite. When it comes to second favorite, you know, taking character aside and everything, I'd probably go Ant-Man, just because I like his stance, and I think that the silver on the helmet is very nice. And then Ghost I would put on last, simply because of how I like her pose, but she's positioned where she's like falling forward, which I'm really disliking. So overall, though, I think these are 3 very nice figures. They can all be, you know, updated in some way. I think that a new pose is necessary for Yellowjacket. A more stable position is necessary for Ghost, and then Ant-Man is pretty solid how he is. He's quite nice. So yeah, so there you go. That's my review of the Funko Pop Ant-Man figures featuring Yellowjacket, Ant-Man, and Ghost. Let me know what you guys think of these figures, and thanks so much for watching.